Hi friends, my name is Umkar Jagdare and I'm coming at you from Detroit, Michigan. Today I'm going to talk to you about which is a better country to live in, United States of America or Canada, if you're planning to go there as a student. Okay, but before we get started, I would really appreciate if you can give me a thumbs up to the video. It allows me to reach out to more people just like you. Thank you very much and let's get started. So, Canada or US? Interesting story. I actually live 20 minutes away from Canada. So if I really want to, and if I have a Canadian visa, I can drive there in 25 minutes. We have a tunnel connecting from Detroit to Windsor, Canada, and it takes me there in 10 minutes. But there are 4 advantages I see to Canada. First of all, immigration policy. Second is better job market. Third is cheaper colleges, and fourth is free healthcare. Now, let's jump into each one of them. Immigration. If you really understand, Canadians are more open-minded to immigration than United States of America. Understand one thing: the population of Canada is about 38 million people, whereas population of US is 328 million. In my opinion, Canada is obviously has less saturation compared to US, and the opportunity thus you get there is a little bit different than US. If you really understand why I feel the job market is much better there, is because unlike in USA, let's say if you're an international student, you graduate now, you don't have to worry about finding a company which will sponsor your H-1B. Eventually, when they sponsor your H-1B, you don't have to worry about them funding tens and thousands of dollars to get your green card. These issues are being taken care of by the Canadian government themselves. So when you go to study there, after a couple of years of your studies, when you get into work, within a year, 2 years, you can actually get your PR, and less than a couple of years from there, you can get your citizenship. So your path to being a resident of Canada is much faster. It's much faster. It's much hassle-free. You don't have to jump as many hurdles as you have to do in America. So I see that as a clear advantage and a clear winner if you really see over United States. Now, let's talk about colleges. Obviously, the colleges are much cheaper in Canada as compared to US. If you really understand, an undergrad student would pay about $5,000 to $20,000 per year in Canada, whereas in US they will usually pay about $20,000 to $40,000 per year on tuition fees and living expenses. So if you really understand, US is much expensive compared to Canada there. Biggest advantage I see is free healthcare. Now, if you're planning to live in a country for next 20, 30, 40 years, you're planning to have kids, family eventually, I see Canada as a better option because of free healthcare. Obviously, you're paying towards it through your taxes and stuff like that, but you don't have to worry. The stress, the peace of mind you have is much better there. So I think that is a clear advantage, having that free healthcare. If you break your hand in US, for example, you go to a doctor and you have, let's say it takes you $3,000 to fix it. Now, if you don't have $3,000, you're in trouble. In Canada, that's not an issue, folks. You don't ever have to worry about saving money in case of emergencies for medical situations. You can save money for other reasons. But saying that, I see healthcare as a clear winner. Let's look at advantages of US and why I think US, has some benefits on compared to Canada. First of all, higher job incomes. Now, because if you really see the Silicon Valley, all these big companies are in US, the tech companies, and the growth that's been happening, the salaries you'll get in US are much higher than in Canada. Now, that is from my experience, okay? So this may be biased, I may be wrong here, but so far what I have studied and what I have known, that's been happening. A friend of mine recently moved to Canada because his H-1B didn't get picked up, but he's making only about $60,000 in Toronto metro area, and that's Canadian dollars. But in US, he used to make $85,000. And even in US, you pay less taxes as compared to Canada. But again, at the end of the day, they kind of equalize because, a lot of different things. But last thing I want to talk about is the good weather. In Canada, let's say, if you really understand, Canada and US have similar weather. About 80% of US has similar weather to Canada. But there's there's the 20% of US which has good weather, like Florida, Texas, the southern states, California, or the western states, obviously. They have these good weather states. That's the advantage of US. So let's say one day you're tired of the cold weather, you're tired of the snow, and you're like, I want to move somewhere warm. You have that choice in America. I mean, United States of America. So I see that as an advantage over Canada, obviously. But if you don't have issues with snow, you think you can handle it for 6 months in a year, I think Canada is a great option for you. So what would I suggest at the end of the day? Let's say, if I were to do all of this again, I would actually go to Canada and do it all over again. Because if you really see, I would have done my undergrad in 4 years, I would have studied for a couple of years, I would have gotten my citizenship there. And if I wanted to, I could have come to US. And by the time 2 years into the US, I would have even started my green card process. So I feel that the route through Canada may be a better route to come to US also. But if you don't care if it's Canada or US, I think Canada may be the best country for you. You want to come to US. I know some of you really love US and you were always dreamt about coming to United States of America. Now, you guys should listen carefully. If that is always what's been on your mind, then don't worry about it. Maybe Canada may not be for you then. Maybe United States of America is for you because you always wanted to be here. This is where you always imagine yourself to be, and that's what you want to do. Then I think you should definitely look into US and don't worry about it then. Just focus on your dreams and come here, and I think this is the right place for you. Because obviously I wouldn't trade my life in US for any other country in the world, to be honest. And just the quality of life I have here, the opportunities I have here, I feel I don't know if I can get them anywhere else. So I feel that US is one of the best countries in the world, immigration left aside. But it's up to you folks. I think I've given you enough information to make a wise decision. But if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. If you want to ask me questions directly, you can connect to me on Instagram at Omkar A. Jagdare. I usually get back to you within a week. But I had a great time talking to you, and I'll see you in the next video.